All right, peace and love, world. Welcome to another episode of We Are Not Conversations with Zoe today. Today we are Unhinged by Ali, and we're going to, this conversation is going to go where it goes. We're going to lay down a foundation of what we're doing. Introduce yourself to the world once again, even though I know they know you, but let them know you more.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm Allie Lethbridge. I am a stand-up comedian, actress, and I'm also a, grant specialist. And I am also a semi-pro basketball player.
Absolutely. So those are all beautiful things. I'm glad. I think you're not my first part too, but I'm so happy to have you back.
Yeah.
Before we start, thank you so much for trusting me to facilitate and narrate this conversation. Let's go.
Let's do it.
You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull this a little closer because I'm clumsy.
So, Unhinged by Ali. So, what is Hinge? Hinge is a dating app, and their slogan is the dating app designed to be deleted.
Right.
Did you think that was true when you signed up?
I was hoping that was true in a positive sense, right? Because what that slogan is for is basically that it's designed to be deleted because you're going to meet your forever person, right? Yeah. And that just was not the case for me, unfortunately.
So the Hinge approach is go on your last first date.
Right.
Was that true for you?
Yes, for now. I guess we just gonna dive in. So I had been on Hinge for maybe a year or two, meeting people, all of that. At the end of June, early July, I started talking to a guy on Hinge. He was really, really handsome. He's a former D1 football player, Army vet. He had a couple of degrees under his belt, and he's a chef. A lot of good things. But we had just been talking on FaceTime, all of that. On FaceTime, he seemed super dope. He was cooking all the time. He was showing me around his apartment, all of that, right? So finally we meet in person. His birthday was on the 29th of August, and I wasn't getting back to New York City because I was in LA. I wasn't getting back to New York City until I think that Thursday. So the 2nd or whatever of September. Yeah. And I was like, when I come back, I'm going to take you out for your birthday. So he's like, I bet. So I get back, we meet up. He's opening doors for me, pulling out chairs, all this dope shit, super nice. I know that sounds like the bar is low, but it's nice. Chivalry wasn't dead, right?
Dead, yeah.
So then we go back to my crib, and I'm like, all right, let's bar hop or whatever. He's like, all right, cool. He doesn't try to touch me, nothing. He's really, really polite. We don't have sex, nothing. So I just change. We go to another spot. And before we go in the other spot, he's like, oh, I got my gun on me. I hope they don't check it or confiscate it from me. And I was like, oh, all right. Because we from New York, and also my grandfather's former NYPD. I'm used to people carrying guns on them. You know what I'm saying? My family members, I got Bloods in my family. They always were strapped. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
it wasn't nothing. And then I'm like, he's originally from Texas and things like that. All right. So he's holding it on. So they pat him down. He had it in a secure, pocket. That's what he said, whatever. That place was waxed. And I'm like, oh, my brother has a friend who has a bar in Bushwick. Let's go there. And he was like, all right, cool. We Uber it over there. Everything's going cool. First red flag. My brother's friend called me over to tell me something. And he grabs my arm and he goes, don't you ever go answer another nigga while you with me. And I was like, and he laughs. And I was like, all right, bro, whatever. So I go over there and start talking to him, right? Mind you, we drinking. He's drinking. So I'm talking to my brother's friend about a situation, and he inserts himself and he goes, oh, well, that ain't nothing. I've been to rehab before. And I was like, oh, really? For what? Mind you, we've had multiple conversations for hours around that. He's like, alcohol. And I'm like, oh, you're an alcoholic. And he was like, I was. I'm good now. I was like, is this okay for you? Because I'm like, we at the bar and you're 20 whiskeys deep. You good? And he was like, yeah, I'm fine. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't, baby. All of that. And I was like, all right, cool. So then me and my brother's friend are talking about something. It kind of gets me emotional. So I go outside. Mind you, we was drinking too. So I go outside on the patio to just get some fresh air and have a moment. He comes out. He's like, you're being weak. Your alley fucking leverage. Tighten up. All this shit. And I'm like, yo, it's time to go. Right? So I'm like, let me get back to my apartment, get him his shit, and then end the night. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I call an Uber. We in the Uber from Brooklyn. I live in Queens. We going to Queens. And he's in the Uber just wilding. Just like, you're worthless. You're stupid. I should never went on a date with you. Like, this, you don't, like, just, you're weak. All this shit, right? And so in that moment, while we're driving, like, you know, while we're on our way to Queens, I just start crying. Because I start having flashbacks of when I was 15 years old and my father punched me in my face in the back of a cab.
Oh, shit.
So in that moment, I'm like, fuck, like, how am I here again 15 years later, right? So we getting off the highway. And as we getting off the highway, we're like in my neighborhood. I could walk from where we at. So I asked the Uber driver, I'm like, hey, can you pull over and just let me out? He's like, right here? I'm like, yeah, I could walk from here. He's like, okay. And he unlocks the door. I go to get out and this man grabs me, hits me in my face, and starts strangling me in his lap. The Uber driver unbuckles his seatbelt to like leave and abandon me in the car with this nigga.
Bitch ass nigga was gonna leave? That's
Yo,
crazy.
he was gonna leave me in the fucking Uber with the guy.
What ethnicity was this cab driver?
Why does everyone keep asking me that? He was
mean,
like, he had a wrap on his head. But let me tell you something about that. The thing that makes me mad that people keep asking me that is that love and respect are universal languages.
Yes.
So whether you're Muslim, whether you're Hindu, whether you're Jew, whatever your socioeconomic or religious background is, love and respect. If you love and respect someone, like as a human being, you would insert yourself so that person's life isn't in danger, right? So as that happens, like immediately in my head, I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to die. So the guy, he's strangling me and he sees the Uber driver unbuckle his seatbelt and he goes, drive straight. I have a gun in my bag. I'll kill you and her. And I'm like pleading for my life at this point. I'm like, Uber driver, please, like just do what he says. Just do whatever he says. Just do it. Because I'm not trying to die right now, right? So in that moment, like I calmed down a little bit. I had like moved my neck back because I was trying to like get out of the position. But this nigga is big as fuck. He's like your size. Yeah. Like your size, big nigga, all that. So the Uber driver drives me back to my apartment. The nigga throws me out the car. The Uber driver speeds off. So I get in the building. The guy comes with me. We get in the elevator. He punches the wall mad hard, like eats it too. And he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And I'm like, fuck, like let me just get upstairs. So he's like, I'm gonna wait in the hallway for you so you could get my stuff and I'm gonna leave. And I was like, all right, cool. So in that moment, I felt defeated because he beat my ass in the Uber. And I wasn't able to defend myself. It was a small space. He was much bigger than me. It was just so much going on. So I get inside. For those of y'all that have been following me, you know how big my dog is. I got an 85-pound American Bull Mastiff, and he is about that fucking life. So I go inside, I grab that nigga's shit, and I grab Avon. I'll go outside, and I sick Avon on him. Avon bites the nigga. The nigga kicks my dog in the fucking face, bro.
Oh, shit.
He kicks my dog in the face. So I scream, and I jump back. And when I screamed and jumped back, so did Avon. The dude goes to reach for whatever he got in his bag, and I run. I just book it into the crib, lock the door, and get on the floor. Because I'm like, if he sprays this shit up, at least I have some type of fighting chance.
Yeah.
So I get on my phone, and I call the police. He's right outside my door, so I'm whispering. I'm whispering at this point. I'm like, please come. He has a gun. They're like, did you see it? I didn't see it. But in order for the police to come, I'm like, I saw it, right?
Yeah.
Quicker. So I'm like, I don't want to talk on the phone. He could hear me. He could hear me. And they're like, okay, we're coming right now. Hang up. And I was like, all right, boom, hung up. Call my brother, call my mother, call my uncle. Like, brother came, boom, 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 right? So the cops come to arrest this nigga, right? I'm on the floor shaking. At this point, I'm in shock. I'm like shaking, right? The cops, they're like, well, ma'am, it appears that this man is homeless.
What? So
This nigga lied about everything. Like apartment, all that. No, that nigga lives in a fucking shelter.
Yeah.
He's homeless.
Wow.
He lied. Like he's currently homeless, right? So I'm like, oh shit, like this is so crazy. They pat the nigga down, they search his bag, everything, not near a weapon found. So he was lying about that too.
So no gun.
Right? So I'm like, wow. Like, so then as like, they take him away, I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Oh man, I could barely move my neck and my head is just like pounding. Like, what is that feeling? The police, they examined me, EMS were there. They were like, your neck is all bruised. And my face was like protruding. Like it was so swollen from when he hit me in my face. I didn't even realize how fucked up I was until after. I was in so much pain.
Yeah.
The adrenaline had worn off, obviously. Yeah. So, my brother gets there. Thank God my brother got there because my dog was out of his fucking mind. Like, he was ready to kill everything. And the cops were like, oh, can we pet your dog? And I'm like, and it, the severity of because I wasn't like pistol whipped, shot, or like limbs falling off or dead, they were like, oh, you're fine. Like, and they were kind of like laughing and shit like that. And it wasn't a funny matter. Yeah. I remember one of the EMS workers, he looks at me in my eye and goes, well, just remember that other people have it worse than you.
Damn.
And I really wanted to kick that nigga in his nuts because it's like, that's crazy. I almost lost my life. Regardless of any of that, like my neck was all like, I could not breathe. In that moment that man was strangling me, that's when I was like, okay. And when the Uber driver unbuckled, I was like, okay, I'm about to die right now.
Yeah.
Right? So I go to the hospital. They examine me. My mom goes to the hospital with me, all of that. My brother, shout out to my brother because he came, took care of the dog, walked him just to calm him down and stayed with him for like an hour or so. Because I was in the hospital for like hours. Queens General Hospital sucks. So the case was originally taken up by the NYPD as DV. They moved the charges up to felony charges because, so they got him for strangulation and kidnapping. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my first date my last first date on Hinge.
Where's the Uber driver in all this? Like, you got to testify or
right.
anything?
So back to that. So immediately, like I'm on my P's and Q's.
Wait, quick question. Did you pay full rate or any extra or damages or anything? Like,
so here we go. So I reported the situation to Uber. Mm-hmm. Uber's top legal people contacted me. So I spoke to like two of their head of legal. They refunded me the trip and they suspended the Uber driver's account.
Wow.
Because he did not follow protocol. Essentially, Uber drivers have a panic button. He could have pressed that fucking panic button and he chose not to.
You should remind me to set it off.
Yo, he chose not to. Yeah, he chose not to. My life did not matter. It was, no.
Didn't press the button.
No. So he chose to like escape or try to escape rather and leave me for dead. Right. My uncle is so pissed about that.
And then he sped off because he didn't wait for you to get in the crib. Like, he was just like, yo, you out and I'm gone.
So you know what's crazier about it? Not only did he not report it in the moment, but he did not report it after.
At all.
He didn't report it at all.
Wow.
Right. So there was a lot of things going through my mind. The last few weeks, I have not been on stage. I really ain't been outside like that unless I'm with family. I cannot get back into an Uber, and I will not. Lyft got my money right now.
Yeah.
Or I'll drive, or I'll take the train, but with people. So unfortunately, here's the other bad side of this story. Because of the New York City bail reform laws, that man was arrested and released the next day.
Out.
So he is out. He knows where I live. And I will admit that that was my mistake. I should have never had somebody that I don't know like that at my crib. I should have never done that. I should have never let him know where I live. So ladies, I mean, you guys probably already know this, but don't do that. Also he knows where my club is. He made an appearance at my comedy club, my main club where I work at. Yeah, I mean, they're like, well, we have an order of protection. It's like, what am I going to do? Wave it in his face when I see him, Yeah. So I carry things on me to protect myself. hoping that, he doesn't have a gun on him, because then I don't have anything to protect myself against that.
Yeah.
But we all saw the New York City bail reform laws as, we're going to protect black men and da 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 da. But here's the bad side of it, right? Because now his trial date isn't until like mid-October, and he's just walking around. He could leave
this month.
This month.
Okay.
So that's coming up too. So it's been a lot of emotions. I am where I am today, like standing and looking as decent as I think I look, because immediately I went back I'm in therapy. I was already in therapy before this happened, but I had an emergency session. We've been doing it once or twice a week. Shout out to Coach Munch and No Limit. He added me onto his team. So I've been playing basketball pretty much every week since it happened, and that's been helping me to heal and to cope with what's going on.
Yeah.
So all healthy methods. I haven't been going on like a binge drinking. I have been smoking a little bit of weed just to calm my nerves a little bit, but I heard ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I've just been working out, writing a lot, and going to therapy. And now I finally got back up on stage last week, and I actually was able to talk about what happened to me and make it somewhat funny. You know what I'm saying?
The catfish of the century.
It's the catfish of the century. But like, my therapist asked me, what are 10 questions you're going to ask the next person that you start dating? And I'm like, off rip, number 1, let me see your most recent utility bill.
That's a fact.
Because what's up?
Because
where you live at?
Yeah, fact. See, son, Spectrum.
Let me see some. What's your address?
Word.
Let me Google Earth.
Yeah.
Right? Now, and if I never will, but if I were to ever go back on a dating app, I'm not doing the free shit. I met that nigga off the free. You got to subscribe.
Yeah.
You got to pay that little.
Pay a couple dollars.
Pay a couple dollars.
You got to invest.
Yes.
Invest.
So you don't get killed. So everybody's watching this whole Jeffrey Dahmer shit. None of that shit's funny to me.
The timing of this shit. So Jeffrey Dahmer, I can't take. Let's say it dropped within the last week. We spoke a week before that. And I know you were on the fence about doing this, and we were able to come to I guess, I don't want to say agreement, but an arrangement where it's like, you know what? We're going to set this up in a safe space for you to be here and get this off. And I'm not going to be on camera. It's just going to be you. And even better that my brother Wolf is here to facilitate this with me.
I feel very comfortable with you guys.
The universe is in our favor today.
Yeah.
And one of the things you said is he had no value or respect for my life.
Right. So that's a commonality I've experienced with black men in my life, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Starting with my father. My father is, I actually don't talk to my father anymore.
Did your father see the last episode we did?
I have no idea. I don't know what he does with his life at this point.
Got you.
But I know that he adds zero value to my life.
Yeah.
And so I need peace.
Yeah.
And, he doesn't add peace to my life. The last conversation that I had with my father, he called me weak and he called me stupid. And I am neither of those things.
And that's triggering because the guy in the cab, you got hit in the cab by your dad and you got hit by him who called you weak in the cab and he hit you.
Right.
Wow.
So at no point did I I didn't get aggressive with the guy because I'm not, my inner child came out, but not in an aggressive way because I've already handled my anger and my aggression. Back in the day, I used to fight a lot. Let's just say that, right? Because I was a very angry child because of what I was dealing with my pops, right?
Yeah.
Now it was, I was so self-aware of what was happening in that moment that I cried.
Yeah.
Instead of started wilding on him or anything like that, because hostile meeting hostile doesn't make a calm environment.
Yeah. I mean, if he was bluffing about a gun, Lord knows where it would have gone. You know what I'm saying? Had to match that energy.
Right. And I just didn't know. But yeah, I actually do not speak to my father because I no longer have the capacity to be hurt.
Yeah.
As I've been in therapy for the last year or two, right? As I grow as a woman, when people around me do not grow, it's tough. It's tough to be around you. And I know that not everybody, sometimes I'm going to have to meet people where they're at or keep people at a distance. I tried keeping him at a distance, but my father he just doesn't have respect for me.
Yeah.
And I know it's not, and I make this joke about how like you would think I was the worst daughter ever, but it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with him. He
With
don't
him,
love
yeah.
and respect himself.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I cannot be around people, men, woman, whatever, that do not love and respect themselves. Because if you don't love and respect yourself, you're never going to love and respect me. And I can't afford that right now.
Yeah.
I can't afford that. I'm not in that space. Yeah. I'm in a space of elevation and healing. And it's going to take a while. Every day I'm learning something new.
Yeah.
Yo, there's some days I wake up crying. There might be middle of the day I start crying, but I feel my emotions. I feel everything. I'm not blocking it off. I'm not having sex. I'm not dating. I'm not trying to like not feel.
Yeah.
It's important that I feel my emotions and then, write about it or talk about it with my therapist. Like, damn, this is how I'm feeling. I feel lonely today. I feel sad. I'm angry today. There are days where I'm like, I fucking like wish this guy was dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to keep it a stack with you.
Yeah.
Like I go through the motions. Even today this weekend I was feeling sad because it was the championship game. So it was the end of the season.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do?
Yeah. Yeah, I know one of the things you told me was like that, basketball has helped you heal. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like you were dreading basketball ending because it was like, what's next?
Right.
And I'm very proud of you for finding a safe space to be and also a positive outlet. I feel like us, all humans, sometimes we overcompensate with vices.
Yep.
Sex, money, drugs, you name it.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're so hooked on things that we don't even know.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you took the time to reflect and kind of didn't go down that dark road.
Right.
Even though you felt like the dark road and you were neighbors.
Yeah.
But you were like, you know what? I'm going to continue to see the light. I'm going to go to therapy. I'm going to play basketball. I'm going to work out. And I'm going to continue to grow throughout this. And you've been winning, even though something that happened that could have been your demise, you've been winning still.
Absolutely. I will say, and I'm going to be extremely vulnerable here on this because that's what we're doing.
Unhinged by Allie.
When I was 15, after that shit happened with my pops, I tried to commit suicide.
Wow.
Tried to kill myself. I ended up in a psych ward for 8 days.
Wow.
So I wanted to end my life.
Did you verbally say it or did you almost physically?
No, I put a knife to my throat.
Okay.
And I was just tripping. Like, I was wilding out. And my mom was like, she was crying. She was scared. So she took me to the hospital.
Yeah.
Right? And that was an interesting experience. Right? Because being in there with all them crazy ass motherfuckers, I'm like, damn, my life ain't that bad. Like, my father don't want me, but that's all right, But you comparing apples to pears isn't ever a smart thing to do.
But almost for just a little bit of perspective, you were in a situation where you were able to see that your life wasn't that bad. Mm-hmm. I feel like the timing of the EMS guy saying other people have it worse was just inappropriate for that moment.
Absolutely.
He wasn't wrong. But it was inappropriate for what you had gone through because he didn't see, like, the breakdown of your night. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if he sees this miraculously, he'll be like, damn, I got to apologize to her. And I feel like sometimes they're so desensitized to these things. They're numb because they see dead bodies and blood and God.
That's what it is.
But that leads me to this point. One of the things you told me, you said, when you date law enforcement and military, you got to be very careful.
You absolutely do. So, I hate to say this because, there are going to be some law enforcement and things watching this, but I cannot. And I have gone on dates with 2 police officers before, and both ended very bad. Yeah. And this guy was an Army veteran. Yeah. And it ended how it ended. I don't think that I will ever date law enforcement or any type of military ever again. Yeah. It would take, I would have to know, either you're actively in therapy or you're healed. And I know that sounds so crazy, but, I am scarred for fucking dear life. I am scarred for absolute dear life. I don't think that I would ever go down that route again. because I have not had any good experiences with law enforcement or military.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that all of them are going to be like that, but shit.
Why'd you want to do Unhinged by Allie?
So I had this. First off, I was on Hinge and I would see some profiles and I was like, yo, what the fuck? Is this real? Like, is this person really saying this? Like, you know, you got the voice prompt and these things and these pictures. I was like, yo, are y'all serious? And so I just started like screenshotting it and like narrating it and talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I went from like 50 views to 80 views to hundreds of views, right? To thousands of views and people commenting and saying that they love the content. So I was like, all right, fuck it. Like, you know, we're all kind of going through the same thing. Like, we're all trying to date and find our person, but we are finding these frogs instead of our princes. And
That's
it's
that
comical.
was the bar right there.
Right? So I had to stop it because I could not bear to even look at the Hinge app. So I deleted off my phone everything, but I'm actually going to be relaunching that series. It'll be on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Stories, obviously. Just kind of talking, you know, just joking about the whole dating situations that we're all going through and experiences that we're having. But will I be dating? No.
Yeah.
Right now, I can't even imagine myself sitting across the table. And when I do decide to date again, and this is kind of why I wanted to do this too, I want men and women both to know that I'm not male bashing here.
Yeah.
I think that at some point I should date again, but I need to be ready because the trauma that happened to me, I don't need to bring that on to another situation.
Yeah.
I don't need another young man who might be an amazing person to live that trauma because it has nothing to do with him. So I need to work through that trauma so that I'm comfortable enough to sit across the table and not ask a man for his fucking most recent utility bill, right? Because that's crazy.
That's crazy, yeah. I mean, shout out to the growth and maturity, though, you know, to not just like want companionship or be selfish in the sense that, you know, you're going to people, you know, you're going to drag people through the mud, you know, all because you didn't want to do the proper steps to heal on your own.
Right.
And be selfish in a good way where you take care of self.
Absolutely.
Before you go on and give. Shout out to my last episode just for, he said you can't give from it. You shouldn't give from an empty cup.
No.
And I feel like almost everyone we know almost does that where we give from nothing.
Yeah.
We don't have anything to give from ourselves, but yet we give to others. And that's how we compromise ourselves.
Yeah,
you know,
my cup is full, like empty.
Yeah.
It's completely empty. I was about to say fully empty. But
yeah,
that's fucking retarded. But yeah, my cup is empty right now. When I talk about love, like and all of that, like I cannot love another human being right now the way that they deserve to be loved.
A year and a half ago, we were still in the midst of the pandemic. So was it the pandemic that led you to Hinge?
I guess, like, you know, it's so funny. People are always like, oh, why are you even on a dating app? Like, you're so pretty and going on. And I was like, yeah, you know, I meet people in person too. But like, you know, I was like, I just want more options, you know? That's kind of it. And I had actually met one of my exes on Hinge and he was pretty cool until he put his hands on me. But
yeah.
Another alcoholic.
Yeah.
It just, you know, I guess attract them. So that's
So you've been in like domestic violence situations.
Yeah. So you know, starting with my father. So it's hard because I don't think all black men are like this. You know, my grandfather's a great guy, my uncle awesome, like loving, great with their families and all that. Like my grandparents been married for like 63 years.
And those are your mother's parents.
Yes. But I haven't had much success on my side, right? Because if you think about it, like my father, you know, situations with other family members, and guys that I've dated. And a part of it, you know, now a man putting his hands on me, that has no reflection on me because I didn't put my hands on those guys who did that. Right?
Yeah.
But like part of it is like, it's the guys that I choose, right?
Yeah.
It's the questions that I'm not asking, or rather that I'm not asking when I start dating, I need to know about a person's past and, what they're doing with their lives and things like that. So those are important parts, but I have not had much success dating with black men.
Do you feel like you should be sending out like questionnaires and surveys and shit?
I feel like these niggas do need
right, like just a little.
Well, it's so funny. I think there needs to be a better vetting process.
Yeah.
My friends are like, oh, if I don't know him, then you can't date him now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I'm okay with that. Like sometimes, it's better to, know somebody that knows.
Little third party action.
Yeah.
Friend of a friend.
Yeah.
Mutual.
Cause like, just not knowing these motherfuckers. But it's the same thing if you meet somebody in person too.
Yeah.
Like I met a guy over the summertime and he was fucking weird. I met him at a bar.
But do you feel like the common denominator is the bar?
Probably. But I'm trying to think. Like I've met guys in like professional situations and at school and things like that, and it's just like,
you recently got an award.
Oh.
And the guy was on your heels.
Yeah.
And he was married.
Right. Shout out to Malloy University now. When I was there, it was Malloy College.
Yeah.
And I was just awarded with the 30 most successful alumni under 30. So that was a win.
Yeah.
With all this bullshit going on.
That was a win.
That was a win. Getting selected to perform at Chocolate Sundays was a win, just.
Oh, that's why you were in LA.
No. That'll be in 2023.
Okay.
They sent me that email literally the day after it happened, though.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So
how is that emotionally? Like you're like in distraught, but yet you get a rejoiceful email.
So it's like, a lot of things with comedy and like entertainment are, you have to keep putting out content and stuff. So that was good because I didn't have anything funny or cute or cool to say. You know what I'm saying? Because I was so fucking distraught and traumatized.
Yeah.
And I really didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt like I did want to talk about it with everybody too. And that's why I didn't go out and perform comedy and all that. Because like all these comedian niggas, they don't know me like that. They don't need to know all of my business. You know what I'm saying? At that moment and my vulnerability, like I was in a very, very vulnerable state. Like literally, I want to say for the first 2 weeks, I cried every day.
Wow.
Multiple times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What exact date did this happen?
September 2nd.
September 2nd. So about a month ago.
Yeah.
Month and a couple days.
Yep. Early morning.
Pretty much. I guess that was before Labor Day weekend.
Yep.
Wow. So I feel like, I don't know if we spoke within those 2 weeks, but I know we spoke when you reached out to me about the Netflix series and production and all that stuff and potentially wanting to do this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, wow. This is a perfect example of you never know what your friends are going through. And
I didn't want to burden people.
Well, I'll tell you this, and this is public information. You'll never burden me, ever.
I love you.
I love you too. And I once thought, God, give me these bigger shoulders. That's no longer true. I'm capable of handling this to the capacity that you need me to.
Yep.
And, being an outlet for you, whether, God gave me 2 ears and 1 mouth,
Right.
So even today I'm doing more listening than I'm doing talking. But public information it's in written. I'll always be there. No matter
appreciate
what.
you, bro.
So,
I really do.
Absolutely.
And it's important to know too, it's not all black men. Like I do have black men in my life that are phenomenal and that are there for me and there for their families. You know what I'm saying? You're a solid dude, bro. And I really appreciate you even giving me this platform to speak to people about this. Yeah.
To even have a platform to give, it's a blessing in itself.
Facts.
But one of the things you told me, you said I got a lot of tragedy that I've made into comedy.
This funny and everything, right? In the moment when that Uber driver took his seatbelt off, I was like, you motherfucker, like you about to leave me in here, I'm gonna die. But then afterwards, I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. Like, click, I hear click, and I'm like, oh, this nigga about to leave me in here. Like, right? And it's just like, it's not fun, but it's hilarious yo, it's so bad, but like there are things that will happen to you in life, right? That you have nothing better to do but to make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
Now, yes, it's a serious situation, right? But why am I laughing about it? Because I can make I survived. Yeah, I survived. So, I don't know. Just comedians, we have a way about us. We just do that. You know what I'm saying? Shit happen. Like, a lot of comedians have some fucked up lives. Like, I've had some fucked up shit happen in my life. Like, I have a joke about being kidnapped when I was 6. And, I talk about it. I go in. And then at the end, I'm like, the crazy thing about it is, here's the alcoholic shit. It was my father. My father kidnapped me when I was fucking 6 years old.
It's crazy.
You dumbass. You was going to see me in 2 days. You couldn't have waited?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So we talk about these things and they're like, oh my God, that's dark. But that's real shit.
Yeah.
I even have a joke about being molested as a child. That shit slaps. Yeah.
What bridge do you cross? So, I mean, these are like, I know like before you do something, sometimes to me, my analogy is crossing a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, I see what's on the other side. Am I willing to go there? Am I willing to cross this bridge to get there? Get me?
Yes.
So, with that one, with you being molested as a child, what bridge did you cross to get there?
So first I had to realize that some people in the audience will have been molested and didn't deal with it, right?
Yeah.
I've dealt with that trauma.
Yes.
It's not suppressed. It's very much at the forefront. And I've forgiven the person. It was a family member who did it.
Have you seen that family member since?
Yes. We don't speak anymore. She molested multiple of us. Yes. She molested to my knowledge, 3 of us. 4
of her nieces and nephews.
Of her cousins and her sister.
Wow.
Yeah, nasty stuff. Right.
That's your mother's sister?
No. That's my dad's side.
Damn.
Yeah. My dad's side. So yeah, that's yeah.
So that's your father's sister?
No. It's my father's niece.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy shit, right? But what was I saying?
How old were you?
Oh, this went on for years. So I was young. I was like 5 up until maybe 10.
And she didn't live with you?
No, it happened the summers that I would go out and visit my
So it's one of those, every time I see you, it's on site.
Like now?
No, then.
Then, yeah.
Like
And
from
she
5 to 10.
Yeah, she was molesting me with her friends, like one of her guy friends, and he was very violent with me. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, it was bad. But I can make light of it because I've healed from it. But I do have to remember the bridge that I'm going to cross is that some other people have not healed from their traumas. And this might make them upset that this happened to a black woman, or why did that happen to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, people will come up to me after, oh my God, I can't believe that happened to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, I made a joke out of it and y'all niggas was rah laughing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
But there will be some crowds. But then again, you have to read your crowd too. There'll be some crowds like I'm not going to tell those jokes in front of because I got to read the room. You know what I'm saying? That's where that comes from, reading the room. But I've written jokes about it.
Yeah.
So
what indications are you going to see where it's like, I'm not going to tell that kind of joke? Or is it like an energy that you feel?
Yeah, it's an energy. I will tell you, I've actually only did that bit once, and it was in front of a crowd that was like mixed ages, not very young, but like my age, like, mid to late 20s and older, like 30s, 40s, 50s. And they were just, I think, more mature. If it was a younger crowd, they would be like, what the fuck? Like, bitch, what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But it was an older crowd, and the way I segued into it was wise as well.
Yeah.
So, there are a lot of things that have happened in my life that people will be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, we go back to our first episode with Conversations with Zoe when I'm talking about fearless. That's it. You have to be fearless when you talk about your shit. Like, there are people big time comedians that talk about fucked up shit that happened in their life.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be at that level. Sometimes you got to dig deep.
Yeah.
Can't be all surface level, silly, ha jokes. Sometimes you got to really dig fucking deep. That's why people love Dave Chappelle and the Chris Rocks and the, this,
Yeah.
you got to dig deep.
Where do you, so with all this having happened to you, where do you find the comfort? Or like, what does it take a lot to you to have sex with someone, or like?
So I'm actually celibate, and I was celibate before I even went on that date with the guy.
Yeah.
So, and I would like to, this is another silly joke I have, like, I was talking to my therapist and she's like, so you've been fucking for 15 years and you never just like took a break? Like, you gotta, sometimes you have to reevaluate your pussy.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. I'm like, let me try celibacy and, for a little while, and when I meet the person that I'm ready to, engage with, then I'll feel comfortable and, I'll know what that feels like. Cause I know what it feels like to be comfortable with a person, but I have not felt that in a while.
Yeah.
Spent some years.
Yeah.
That I've been like, oh, this is so just like I'm free. You know what I'm saying? Like just comfortable and enjoying it from beginning to end. I have not experienced that in a while.
Yeah.
And that's not good. It's just kind of like you reevaluate a job after 10 years. You want better benefits. You want higher pay. At this point, like people be like, oh, you 29, you mad young. You should just be fucking and having fun. Y'all niggas don't know. I played D1, D2 basketball. I was wilding in college.
Yeah.
I had a great old time. I was wilding up until about August. Shit. Of this year.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I be having fun, but now I would like to experience companionship and, experience love and creativity and travel with one person.
Yeah. Something more calm and peaceful.
That would be nice.
Not rowdy.
Yeah. And having multiple partners at once or over like that shit gets tiring.
It does get tiring. And
that's a lot.
Yeah. And you divide yourself many different ways.
Yes.
To appease different people.
Yes. You
and
spread
that's
yourself
energy
thin.
just going away, like way out. Like that's so much energy going out than it's coming in. Because like, all right, if you're dealing with 5 people, then say you divide yourself by 100%, everybody gets 20, right? That's 20% of you going to him, and you're a different version of Allie for him, and him. I
can't stand that. I do not have the capacity for that anymore.
You divide yourself.
When I was younger,
that shit was fun.
Yeah, it was lit.
It was fun. We outside. Like, we doing it. Oh yeah, we with this one today. I bet. And it takes a toll on you,
right?
Especially when you haven't healed. You know what I'm saying? Because now you become codependent.
Yes.
Now you need to be around people. Like before, I could never sit still. I always need to be around somebody, or be drinking, or go outside on the block, get a bottle, or go out with this girl, that girl, like, and then I felt so uncomfortable when I was by myself, because that's when the mind starts to wander. I'm sure this happened to a lot of people during the pandemic, but the mind starts to wander, and you start to see everything, all the ugly thoughts come into your mind, all the shit you don't like, all the shit you don't want to confront are right in front of your face.
And to that point, that segues into my next. That's why dating is so bad right now, because of the pandemic. Because a lot of people had to sit with their ugly selves.
Yes.
And they chose to not take accountability and take care of themselves and, maybe like soul search or whatever. They decided to be like, yo, fuck this. I hate this person. Let me be outside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, instead of like healing, people were like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. When I get outside, I'm going to be outside.
I know. I definitely triggered a lot of people. A lot of people were upset, but I was like, listen, this is a time to look inside, not outside. And everybody's focused on the external, but not the internal. You know what I'm saying? Not healing from those things. And we're going relationship to relationship with the same problem, the same trauma, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. I want to ask you about the slap heard around the world. So we ain't get, last time we was here, y'all was at dinner, homeboy was disrespecting you, doing the most.
This is funny because a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, you're a hypocrite, blah, blah, blah. So the guy that he's talking about, I was talking about how, he was at dinner and he was sexing another bitch, whatever. We ended up still like kicking it.
Yeah.
I want to say 2 weeks before the slap. That was the conversation. That's the last conversation I had with my father. Mm-hmm. My father called me weak. He called me stupid. And in those 2 weeks, I was trying to decide, should I stay talking to my dad or should I not? What should I do? Blah, blah, blah. And I was just angry. I just got angrier and angrier every day. Mm-hmm. Angrier. And I was out with him one night, and he was flirting with this girl, and he told me that he wanted to have sex with her. Mind you, ladies, please learn from my mistakes, okay? This is all about learning, right? If you don't want a man to do something, do not suggest that he does it just to appease him. Yeah. That was my mistake. Some women are gonna be like, duh. Right. All right. I'm still learning. All right.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, if you want to have sex with her, then you can have sex with her. If you want to date her, then you can date her. I was drunk too. We were drinking, all of that. It was a friend's birthday. Mm-hmm. Child, he was like, thank you, and I appreciate you for that. And something triggered in me. Uh-huh. You bitch ass nigga. That's what triggered in me. I was so mad. Yeah. So I walked away, got on the phone with my brother. I was like, Xavier, I just want to slap his stupid face. I just want to punch this nigga. He was like, yo, just leave. I was like, but I left my stuff at his crib. He was like, so what? You get it tomorrow, just leave. I was like, nah, I could control myself. Mm-hmm. Went back upstairs, seen the bitch hand on his lap. They wanted to do cheers. And I was like, oh, you love Spanish women, don't you? And I was just in his face. Like, I was just mad. And everybody was like, what? And I was like, good for you. And I hit him on his face, right? And then he was just like he just gave me this look. And I just slapped the shit out of the nigga twice.
Do you remember the last conversation we had before that happened?
No.
Where I said how it was going to end.
Oh, yeah. It ended very bad.
You, at that point, when you called me, and thank you for paying,
fill me up.
for keeping me company during my traffic car rides. But I told you guys, one of you guys are going to do something to each other.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to end.
Yeah.
So, if you guys aren't going to cross that bridge, then it's just going to end pretty ugly.
Yeah. And so I think that was the wrong way to deal with it. Absolutely. Literally the next day in therapy, talking to my therapist. I didn't go to therapy for a month because my therapist was actually away on a sabbatical because she was planning her wedding. And I was like, listen, bitch, you can't not be okay. You can't be going on sabbaticals because when you go on sabbaticals, I slap niggas. Yeah. So I'm going to need you to be here and be present. No, but yeah. So yeah. And I immediately was in therapy for that. I apologized to him. He, accepted my apology. We don't speak like that, but I know that we can be cordial because we have mutual friends. So if we need to be around each other, I know we can. But again, putting your hands on somebody is never okay. Yeah. Period. You know what I'm saying? Period. What's crazy about that situation though is that he wanted me to sleep over that night. Mm-hmm. He was still going, fondle my parts. But later on, a few months later, when I called him, I was like, I just wanted to formally apologize because that was wrong of me. He told me it was something that I said afterwards why he wouldn't consider me again. Yeah. And it's because afterwards I was like, you ain't never gonna meet a bitch like me. You ain't never gonna find a chick like me.
Yeah, you talking your shit.
Yeah, and that turned him off completely because I had just slapped the shit out of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the slap. It was the I'm that bitch. Yeah. You ain't gonna find another bitch like me. But it's like, are you really that bitch? Because you just couldn't control your emotions. And you just slapped me in front of a whole bunch of people at our friend's birthday, which is his first birthday without his mother. You know what I'm saying? It was inappropriate.
Yeah.
So I'm publicly saying this, but I privately told him that what I did was inappropriate. I apologized to everyone who was there as well. Yeah. Because putting your hands on somebody is not okay. And I'm sure that some people are gonna be like, oh well, you got hit in the Uber because karma. I just hear it. I just hear it coming because of
we're not there.
Because of I just hear that coming because of the internet.
Yeah.
But I will never, ever, that was my first time ever putting my hands on another nigga like that I was dating.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew in that moment that he wasn't the one for me.
Yeah.
Because no man has ever gotten me to that point where I'm like.
Yeah. You guys weren't good for each other though.
We weren't at all, but I just couldn't see that.
Yeah.
For a while because I was comfortable.
Yeah. Do you feel like because of your relationship with your father, you display a weak version of yourself to men?
That's funny. Great question. Wow. So another one of the reasons why I ended my relationship with my father is because I was it was causing me to have poor relationships with other men because I didn't have no respect for these niggas.
Yeah.
I had lost respect for my father. First he was sober, then he's not sober. Then he's like, when he was sober, he apologized for the things that he did to me, like when he hit me in the car and when he hit my mother in public, all this shit. And then the last conversation we had, this is why I ended it. I remember now. He brought all of those things back up and he told me that it was mine and my mother's fault that he lost his job teaching children. But really, it was his fault because he decided to get drunk that night and punch a 15-year-old in the face. He's like, why did you go to the police? Why'd you go tell the white man? And that's the problem with black families. Yeah. Why would you go tell the white man? Why would you tell? Like, when I told my family about my cousin molesting me and 2 other people, they were like, oh, well, she was molested as a child. Just give her grace. And I'm like, no, I spoke to that bitch Grace. She said, no, fuck that. Put that bitch in jail. Like, that bitch needs to go to jail. Like, nah, let's stop doing that. Or my dad was like, oh, let's go to therapy. Therapy never happened.
Yeah.
They're just all kikiing in the group chat. All of them niggas is blocked because I don't want to be in the group chat. Nothing's funny because all y'all niggas do is just swipe things under the rug. Yeah. It's not okay.
Yeah.
You got to heal from things. Mm-hmm. You have to be a better version at some point. We're not going to continue these generational traumas.
Yeah.
No, that's clipped. So what I felt was the healthiest thing for me to do, like, you know how people say you have daddy issues? I do not claim that I have daddy issues at all.
Yeah.
Because I am an adult and I have grown enough to take a step back from him.
Yeah.
Because it does not serve me.
Yeah.
That relationship does not serve me. So I felt like I just didn't respect men. That's how I was moving. Like calling men niggas, like all of that. Like, nah, you can't act like that. If you want to be treated like a woman, like a lady, you want to put a ring on your finger. Like my therapist always says, like, your husband and your future husband and your child want to know that when things get rough, you ain't going to throw them away.
Yeah.
I need to learn conflict resolution. These are all growing pains, things I need to grow with and learn. So I will say my relationship with my father was putting a damper on my relationship with men.
Yeah.
Just 2 weeks before I slapped old boy, my father called me stupid and he called me weak. Yeah. And I was holding on to that. And I let it out on him, and that was unacceptable.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting my ass down and healing from it and taking a step back. That's why this time around, with what happened with dude in the Uber, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not none of that.
Yeah.
I'm taking a complete step back.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're doing all the right things, because I know to numb the pain with whatever we're going to overly compensate with is the route that we usually go down.
Yeah.
And I feel like with the holidays coming up, I know it's a tough time of year for a lot of people, but it's safe to say a lot of our families ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? And it just is like people just do fucked up shit or like sleazy shit and expect you to be okay with it.
Right.
And when you're competent enough as an adult, when you're aware of like who's who and how people move, like you just want peace. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want your peace to be jeopardized for 3 hours sitting around motherfuckers you don't even want to be around.
Yeah.
That's uncomfortable. That's not, so you're invited to Friendsgiving this year.
Oh, yes.
I'm having my first ever Friendsgiving. But like, I'm just going to start my own traditions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
That's just where I'm at right now. You know what I'm
saying?
And it's just not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't talk. We don't, we got nothing going on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't even text my son for his birthday. So at the end of the day, what the fuck we got to talk about?
I think that people... So how I ended up telling the family about what happened to me and my other family members with that.
So you don't see that side of the family anymore?
No. So we were in a group chat, and my cousin who did it would often like at me and be like, to asking me and my brother why we don't talk to her, why we talk to everybody else but don't address her. And I was like, you really want to know why? And I said it.
In the group chat?
Absolutely. Wow. And no one believed me. Everybody was like, oh, why didn't we hear about this? And nobody believed me until my cousin confirmed it. My other cousin, who she molested. She was like, no, Allie's not lying. This happened to us.
Wow.
So it's like, and you know what the crazy thing is?
In that group chat, that like.
And people made a joke out of it. They made jokes out of it, out of a serious conversation in the group chat. They did not give a fuck. They did not give a flying fuckity fuck.
Yeah.
Right? So I forgive my cousin for doing what she did to us. She didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? She was young, all of that. That's cool. But I ain't got to talk to her. I don't have to have a relationship with her.
It's a fact, ever.
Especially because now she's nasty. She's nasty. She's like, she won't apologize. She's like, it never happened, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, I guess if it was one allegation, you could say that. When it's two, it's like, when it's three, when it's four, bitch, you did that shit.
Yeah.
You wildin'.
It's crazy because, like, most of the time, like, for people, that shit be amongst family members.
Absolutely.
Like, it'd be around people that your guards are 100,000% down.
Yeah.
And you feel like your big cousins and shit like that are like you're low key like your guardians. Like the family could be in the house and you could be outside with your cousins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you would never expect things to go left and for you to be taken advantage of.
Yeah. And like one of my aunt's responses was, I know that didn't happen in my house because none of that shit would ever happen to me. I'm like, bitch, all your kids started having kids at 15. Shut up. You don't know shit.
It's delusional.
Shut up. Shit. You don't know shit. Yeah. Anything could have happened anywhere because y'all wasn't really doing nothing.
Yeah.
All them damn kids. Everybody's kids having kids. Like one of my cousins has 6 now. One of them was.
Where's this family from?
They Southern.
Southern, okay.
I resent that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alabama, West Virginia.
Yeah.
Southern. They live upstate now because, the military family, they moved up to a base up there years ago and they kind of stayed up there. But, they kind of live all over, but all of them are blocked except for one. Yeah. One cousin I'm really, really close with. I love her.
Yeah. So when it comes to going back to Hinge, are there like groups where it's like, watch out for this dude, watch out for that dude?
Yo, so I kind of briefly gave a little snippet of what happened to me on my story. And one of my neighbors, actually, she's super cool. She has 2 dogs. We walk our dogs together, whatever. She screenshotted me a group. And it's a group of women who basically, it's not rating guys, but they're just sending out warnings about, hey, I dated this guy. He tried to rape me. I dated this guy, he beat my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't go out with this guy. It's just basically shooting out warnings. And that is I'm telling you, it's like Yelp for dicks. It's great. Yeah. I love it. Give me these niggas stars. I want to know. I don't want to go out with this man if he punched you in your face 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I don't want to go out with this. I remember this one guy that they were warning about on it was like Twitter, it was like Facebook, it was Instagram. This guy was going around giving women, I think it was herpes.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh, he nasty. Yeah. And it was crazy. So, and it was like 10 girls just right there that were like, yeah, he did it to me too. Yeah, he did to me. I was like, yo, that's wicked. You go to jail for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wicked. So I'm like, oh, all right, good. So yeah, there are groups. I don't remember what that group is called. I don't have my phone on me, but
yeah.
When if you guys need it or want it, you could just DM me. He'll give you
We're definitely gonna put it in the description.
Absolutely.
And we got to put this information out there because we're here to create awareness.
Absolutely. That was the whole point of that. Yeah. The point of me coming out and telling you about this is creating awareness and also like the healing methods that I'm using. I've been able to talk to my family members, friends. Shout out to Amy Hawthorne and New York Comedy Club because literally I was so ashamed when this happened to me. I felt ashamed because, 2 days before this happened, the guy, he actually went to New York Comedy Club, to scope out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, fuck. I had that in my mind afterwards, and I'm like, I have to tell them to look out for this guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do this. And when I told Amy the story, she was like, I'm so sorry. If there's anything you need, let me know. And she stood on that. Every week she checked on me. Every single week she checks on me.
Yeah.
Are you okay? How are you doing? Do you need anything? Just like that. So it's very important to have a village. So at first I didn't want to say anything or tell anyone, but then I was like, nah, people need to hear my story so that they can, you know, Uber.
Yeah.
I think I won't get in an Uber with a guy on a first date,
Yeah.
or a second or third.
Yeah, I think we gotta kind of limit,
Yes, access.
set some boundaries and set some acts. Like,
Yeah.
you know, all right, cool. Bar hopping, probably not doing it. Like let's go
Ever.
one spot. All right, restaurant, one bar, cool. Part ways.
No, we're gonna
But
go get doodle juice.
Yeah.
We'll get coffee.
Yeah. Like
or tea.
leave your shit in my crib kind of thing.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You know, I think you were almost a little too accessible.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
And he's a loony bin.
Yeah.
So now, I guess legally, you know, like you have a lawyer and all that stuff, and
So actually, the Queens District Attorneys are dealing with it. I don't even know if I could say that. You might have to cut that out.
yeah.
But yeah, it's being dealt with by one of the ADAs. And then my court date is mid-October. I don't know if I can even say all that on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's coming up in a week or so. Yeah. So I'm mustering up the courage to see this fucker's face again.
Yeah.
One thing that I often feel is like, I wish I did more. I wish I did more to him. Like, I wish he was scarred. I wish I would have. I wish I had my mace on me. I didn't have my mace on me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It was in a coat pocket that I forgot it was. Like, I didn't even remember where I had put it because I was just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I there's so many things that I go back and wish that I did a lot of things differently. But I have to remember that, like, at the end of the day, none of that shit should have happened because, like, he just should not have done it.
Yeah.
I have to remember, like, let's not beat ourselves up.
Yeah.
Let's learn, right? We don't do certain things. You know, you don't get in an Uber. You don't drink with a guy on a first date. All right, cool. We learned that. All right, cool, right? But at the same time, he should have, like, not been so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, how about that, right? And I think that sometimes the United States government fails its military personnel by, okay, that person went to battle and you don't have any follow-up,
Yeah.
care.
No follow-up. It's just like, you're home.
Go.
Yeah.
Right? Here's $3,000 a month for your disability. Here's $1,600, whatever, however much money you get. That motherfucker he probably gets a big check. I know he gets a big check. Like, he's homeless and he was paying for Uber XLs that night. Right? And he has 2 kids. So I know he gets a big check. He's probably blowing that shit on alcohol.
Yeah.
So when you were talking to him, right? Like, it turns out that he was homeless.
Right.
But it's like everything in the beginning, like the FaceTime calls and the way he was dressed and all of these things, there was like nothing immediately that like tipped off that this nigga did not have a place to live in.
No, so he told me when we first started talking, he was like, when I first came to New York, which was, I think he said a year ago, he was homeless.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, but I picked myself up. I got a good job. And he showed me around his apartment, everything. And I was like, oh, okay, that's great. Like, you know, that's a success story.
He showed you around like on FaceTime?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would say this. So I loved using the word timeline, right? But if the timeline speaks correctly, FaceTiming for 3 months, that means 2-ish, right? That means that was kind of at the tail end or almost at the ending of before the slap heard around the world. Because if
Yes.
So
yes.
okay, so it did overlap a little
Yeah.
bit.
No, it didn't overlap. It was completely separate. Like, the slap heard around the world was May 31st.
Got you. Oh yeah, I knew it was around
May
a certain
30th,
holiday.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's my best friend's birthday is on the 30th, and my best friend is his best friend, so
Okay.
we were out. I want to say me and this the crazy nigga started talking July 4th weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was almost exactly 2 months because
Yeah.
September 2nd,
Right.
the incident happened.
Right. So
how is your family taking all of this?
So my brother feels like shit because he feels like, damn, I couldn't protect you.
Yeah.
Of course.
He wants to fuck that nigga up.
Yeah.
His friends want to fuck that nigga up.
Yeah.
My whole family does not know the whole situation. I decided to not tell my whole family.
Yeah.
Especially not my gang banging cousins.
Yeah.
Because they actually know where his address is known, where he's staying. The shelter that he's staying at, a family member of mine obtained that.
Yeah.
And, I was like, what? Like, how'd y'all do that? I probably shouldn't have said that on this team. But anyways, you cut that out. But yeah, my brother feels really shitty.
Yeah.
My mother she was distraught that night. I remember her looking at my face and saying, "Your face is swollen." And she just looked at me and she just,
Yeah.
she kept it very strong, calm, cool, and collected. But then she told me later after, like, while they were doing my CT scan and shit like that, she went out to the car and she said she screamed out loudly.
Yeah. She had to get that out.
Mm-hmm.
Black women are so strong.
Yeah.
I swear.
We have to be.
Yeah.
And, there were a lot of other things that go through my mind. Like, damn, in that moment, like, so I live right by my brother, 15 minutes away. And my dad lives near, too. And that moment, I was like, fuck, I can't call my pops.
Yeah, those are the moments, like when you're not in contact or at odds or not talking to someone. Those are the moments.
Mm-hmm.
My little brother's birthday was Monday. He turned 26. I haven't spoken to my brother like that in like 8 years.
Ooh, that's sick. I can't even imagine not talking to my brother.
And it's like October 3rd, my little brother's birthday.
And sometimes you got to set boundaries for yourself.
Yeah.
And you have a family.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing though. Like as a father, I've only been a father 2 years, but like right now, I wish I could FaceTime Henry before he went to sleep. I saw him before he went to sleep. But it's like how life just moves on, and it's just like you have children out there.
Yeah.
And it's like how do you rest? How do you find peace or whatever it is? Just move through life daily with your kids just out there.
That's the question.
Yo, that's tough. That's tough. And I keep reminding myself because, my father, he was always an alcoholic and abusive, right? Whether it be verbally, emotionally, or physically.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I will not bring a child into this world with a person like that, or I will not bring a child into that at all. I will not.
So what happened was he got fired for being a teacher.
Yeah, because he put his hands on a minor.
Right.
And he apologized for that once while he was sober, while I was in college. And then, whatever, 15 years later, he's blaming me for it again. And I was like, nigga, I do not need this. You on my phone that I pay bills that I pay for in my apartment that I also pay for, talking to me like that?
Yeah.
I do not need this. And that was it. And I messaged him and I was like, bro, like, and then after that conversation, his way of apologizing, instead of saying, Allie, I'm sorry, I should not have spoken to you in that manner, his way of apologizing was like sending me screenshots of like economic development and like ways to save your money and all that. Cause I was telling him, I was like, yo, you have never been there you ain't really done shit for me.
Yeah.
Right? My mother, she helps me manage my money. She helped me get my body right so I'm ready to play ball. My mother has always been there for me. She carried me, right? And he was upset about that. And so instead of apologizing for what he said, he decided to like screenshot me money advice and financial advice. And I was like, bro, don't do that.
Yeah.
You are you're an adult, bro.
Yeah.
Apologize for the way you spoke to me, because you're setting a precedent. The way you speak to me is how you setting it up for other people to speak to me. I remember a couple years ago, I had to take a break from him too, because some people know, but I had to have an emergency surgery during the pandemic because I ended up having fibroids and I was bleeding for like 8 months. And they were like, oh, it's an elective surgery. You're not of childbearing age. We can't open you up. Blah, blah. I was like, if you don't fucking do something, I had passed out because I was just bleeding nonstop. It was crazy. Where was I going with this?
I mean, it all leads back to your dad. And
Oh, yes. And so, after that happened, right? Oh, I was having like bloating because I ended up having like endometriosis and PCOS, right? And bloating, right? And I had ended up telling him about how like, damn, like all these things like are making me uncomfortable. I hate that I'm so bloated, blah, blah, blah. Yo, we out at a party at my brother's friend's crib in front of a bunch of dudes. And he's like, ugh, you look bloated.
Your pops?
Yes. And I was like, why would you do that? Why would you say that in front of these people? He's like, oh, I'm just joking. And I'm like, but you know that there's something that I'm sensitive about. And we had a whole conversation about that.
I think a lot of this is coming from a place where your father just doesn't know how.
And that's okay, but that's his problem. I'm not going to continue to
it's
deal with
his
that
problem,
shit.
But like,
Sure.
niggas just don't know. Like,
Yeah.
And that's what happens, like I'm truly convinced through where we all lived and what we've all seen that having children don't change people.
It doesn't. Oh, praise.
If you're not going to change for yourself and do it for yourself, it's not going to work.
It's not going to happen. You got to heal. You got to do. And that's the same thing when you go into relationships. You have to heal before. Another person is not going to fucking heal you. I don't care what. I mean, some people can say that, but you got to do some work on your own, player.
Yeah.
Because what if.
Broken people are gonna raise broken children.
Absolutely. And I just choose to not
partake.
Yeah. Do you have a question?
Man.
Ask away. Please ask away. Because I know this story has like, if there's any holes in it and you need me to fill in, let me know.
No.
I don't think there's any holes.
Yeah, no, there's no holes. It just, it just is. There's no secret that we all have an understanding of how men just fall extremely short. And of course, we can't say the same for all men, but this situation, this issue, it's a man issue. It really, really is. You know what I mean? Like, as good men, we understand the power of a man, like, not being present in so many ways. And even a good man could fail at not being present. Like, my father, would consider to be a good man. You know what I mean? But even him not being present, it led to things, no matter what his excuse is. You know what I mean? So if anything, I think what people should take from this is like young men, young boys, people, it's like learn how to be a man. And you need to center that around like core values, because that's the only thing that distinguishes you from what a real man is and what a real man isn't. And when we see that black women say, or when people say protect black women, it's for a reason. It really, really is. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so easy to just scroll and see things on social media, you know what I mean? And phrases and things that go viral and stuff. But it's like stories like this really take you from like looking at it real big, like a catchphrase, and take you right down to the minute experience and be like, protect black women.
Oh,
like,
praise.
And what does that mean? You know what I mean? And it's like, as black men, for the young boys, that's not for you. But for the men, it's like, do what you can to make our women feel comfortable, because at the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't even matter if I'm romantically involved with you or not. It's like, I hear the story and it's like, damn, like I also feel the call to protect you as best as I can. You know what I mean? Because if you're not safe, my sister not safe, my girlfriend's not safe, my mom's not safe. So for all the men that are listening, like be inspired to step up to the plate and be a man, because to be a man is a beautiful thing. And when you do your job right, everything else follows.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was very well said. I mean, I really feel that way. One of the things that I do struggle with daily from this situation is that, nobody cares about my life. Right? You talk about protect black women, there's a bag by C store that says protect black women, but people don't live that, speak that, breathe that for real. I'm not seeing that.
It's that catchphrase.
Yeah, it's a nice catchphrase. That's a beautiful ass catchphrase. Protect black women. It
is.
looks good and it sounds good,
Look
but
good on everything.
I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
But I also believe in, you know, protecting each other, right? As
Absolutely.
I keep saying I have these experiences with black men, but I do not for 1 second want to date out of my race. I don't. I want to raise black, beautiful babies. I want to have a beautiful black unit. And people are like, oh, why, bub? Because black is beautiful.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The fuck? Like, there was once a time where we were very, very proud in our communities and we were thriving and, you know, and I want to bring that connection and that cohesion back together because I feel like we've kind of fallen off of that a little bit.
Yeah.
We do have some fucked up situations, things like that, but like we can heal from this.
Yeah.
We can protect each other. We can be there for each other. I am not writing off all black men at all. Not ever. Never will I. Not near or never.
Yeah.
But, you know, we got to really protect each other.
Yes.
You know? I mean...
What would you tell a woman who's going to create a Hinge account today?
Buy that subscription. Cause these niggas on the free.
These niggas on the free.
It's crazy. Yo. Yo, cause the unsubscribed motherfuckers is different.
Yeah.
You fuck around.
Get what you pay for.
Yo, facts. Or what you don't pay for, rather.
Yeah. I should have paid it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I should have cheated. I should have paid it. I should have paid it.
Yeah.
Paid it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Come on, man.
Absolutely.
That's one vodka tonic less a month, sis.
Bro.
That's a fact.
Hello.
$10,
You know,
whatever it costs.
because if you want to take your dating experience serious, you got to take it serious. Sometimes you got to pay for, like, you know what I'm saying? You got to pay for success. You got to invest in yourself. If you want decent options, then you might have to pay for that. But going on Hinge, I can say, like, you know, I'm not going to go back on it to date because I fucking literally cannot.
Yeah, like, come on.
But if I were to, what I would do differently rather is like, you know, well, one, you know, you're not coming to my house. We're going to meet in a, you know, safe space, public place. If you can't afford to take me out on a date, then we don't need to go out. Some people are like, some guys are like I was talking to one of my homeboys and he's like, you know, like, I just feel like every girl wants you to spend money on them these days. You know, I feel like they just want you to take you out to dinner. Yes, nigga.
Yes, nigga.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something, because when you don't and you take them to your house and you get raped or you get your ass beat in an Uber, that's why we have these boundaries. And some guys be like, oh, I feel like you're punishing me for what the last guy did. No, I'm being smart.
Yeah, and
you took him out that
right. I pay for everything.
Man, this
Right.
the jokes write themselves. Real talk.
And she
It's
took
crazy.
him out that night.
Yo, the crazy shit is like, I'm that type of woman.
Yeah.
Like, I would treat a man with respect. Like, even though it was our first date, I'm like, yo, it's your birthday. Fuck that. I'm
Yeah,
paying
I
for
got
dinner.
you.
I
That's
got
dope,
you.
and that's cool.
Yeah. I had no problem with that.
Yeah, and that's cool.
That's cool.
I think that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
don't let that horrible situation take that away from your beautiful personality. Like,
Right.
that's a really dope thing.
Yeah, I'm never not going to do that. But there are some things like, you know, like,
Yeah.
I don't regret taking him to my brother's friend's bar. Glad
That
I
was
did
a
that.
safe place,
That was
though.
a safe
That was a
space,
safe-
right?
Yeah,
for sure.
So I would probably again meet in like a area where I know family's close or, you know, a place that I know
That could be
open.
I mean, they sell food there. That's probably a medium.
Nah, they didn't have food.
Yeah, food. That's probably.
But but I'm not going to do, I don't think I should do a bar again. Like, I don't think drinks.
You gotta have to switch it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you never know.
Yeah. Something safe.
Yeah.
Secure.
Daytime shit, little
Right,
Saturday
exactly.
afternoon.
It's tough sometimes daytime because of people having jobs and things like that. Like for me, I could do a daytime thing because like I work from home and I set my own
A
schedule.
little Saturday afternoon.
All right, nice
That I could
restaurant then.
Yeah.
Very well lit restaurant. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Exactly.
Plenty of those.
Exactly. But I find that a lot of men, and this is why I'm like, you know, maybe it's just not smart for me to date right now. Finding a lot of men just aren't really financially stable enough to take you out on
Right.
dates because of the pandemic. A lot of people lost their job. A lot of people had to move back home. A lot of people had to revert and redirect their lives. And I get that. But what I will say to you men out there, and women actually, if you are not financially able to date, what that means is, okay, for instance, women, if you go on a date and you cannot afford your meal, then you have no business going on that date. Because what if something happens and he can't pay? What you gonna do? Sit there and look stupid?
Man, we were just talking about this.
If you ain't got money, do not go out. If you ain't got money for a cab, like my thing is like anything can go wrong. What's Murphy's Law, right? Anything can go wrong. That's gonna happen. Anything that's gonna happen is gonna go wrong, right? That's Murphy's Law. You need to be prepared for that. If you don't have enough money to get on the train, you don't have enough money to put in your gas tank, you don't have enough money to get in a cab, stay your ass home.
And that's for you. That's just to make sure you good.
Right.
In case
People
the
be
worst
like,
happens.
oh, right. And you know those videos and they're like, oh, he flew me out. I ain't bringing no money with me. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh yeah, all these. I seen a video the other day where she was like, "Yo, please help me get home.
Nah.
I promise this the last time.
Yeah.
I promise this the last time I fly out to see one of these rapper niggas.
Or you may be stranded somewhere.
Absolutely. You ain't got your own money? Absolutely not. And that goes for both men and women. If you're not ready to date, because dating takes financial effort. You have to have financial effort. Because what we not going to do is have niggas coming over our crib.
Yeah.
Because the next nigga that comes to my crib and you ain't right, my dog's going to bite you. He's going to bite you.
Before that, it's like, you're not coming to the crib until I know that you're right.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Right.
It's
Exactly.
Like, you got to really lean in on your discernment. And it's like, we've all, like, made quick judgment passes on people because we caught a vibe. We've all done that shit. There's no way to anticipate what goes on in a person's mind or what's in their spirit. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, he's a man, I'm a man, like we war ready. You know what I mean? That's just in us to some degree. As a woman, naturally, it's just like, because you are just so precious and so important in general, it's just like, just make sure you're just doing, for the ladies listening, take those extra precautions just to double check. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you don't have a man beside you, you gotta be you are your own first line of defense.
Absolutely.
You want to have a good time, and you can have a good time once you've made sure that, like, okay, it's secure now. You know what I mean? It's safe now. I checked this.
Yeah.
Did you have your location shared with anyone?
Yeah, I have my location shared indefinitely with a few different people.
Great.
Cool.
But they didn't know what I was going through. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning when shit went left.
Still good though.
Yeah.
But still good though. At least,
Yeah,
there's like a trace.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And something they can go back to and refer to.
Absolutely.
A girl posted this the other day,
Yeah.
and it says, going 50-50 with a woman and expecting her to be submissive is wild.
So it's funny that you say that, because I would like to thrive in my femininity. I'm a little rough around the edges. I know I play ball. You know, I've been playing ball my whole life.
20 points, you know, game.
20 points. Shit.
A little 30.
Shit.
A little 40.
Shit. No, let me stop. No, but I would like to thrive in my femininity. Most black women would like to thrive within their femininity.
Yeah.
Most women want to thrive in their femininity, but they have to feel safe.
Yeah.
Right? Fuck that paying bills shit. No. That's a broke bitch talk.
Ooh, thank you.
Okay? Because I could pay. I know that I can pay. Listen, right? I know that I could pay all my bills.
Yeah.
Right? I want a man that can make me feel soft.
Yeah.
Like, I want to sit back and, like, you know, I want to have my flowers. I want to be able to get my nails. Like, there are so many girly things about me that men will never see that side of me because you don't make me feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
So you get the external, the hard.
Love this.
I'm being honest, and that's how a lot of women think, especially women from New York. We done been through some shit. We done seen some shit.
Yeah.
That's so real.
That's real shit. So
real.
it's like, but I want to be feminine with my partner.
Yeah.
I do. There are a lot of things, like I sit back, I be doing my hair and shit. I do my nails. I have a whole ass nail kit at the crib. I like certain smells and scents. You come in my crib, it smell like lavender and chamomile. Like, I like girly things. Yeah, like I like girly things, but like to really just let go.
Yeah. So it has nothing to do with splitting bills or
No, because a real woman will tell you, nigga, I already can pay my bills.
yeah.
I can pay my bills. I want a man who can also pay his bills and take care of himself, because if you can't take care of yourself, then you can't take care of me and our family, you know, because that's
Once
what
again, giving from nothing.
Yes. Niggas be coming to you with an empty cup like, hey, I'm not doing that no more.
Yeah.
And some people are going to be like, oh, but what if you build a man up? I'm almost 30. On February 14th, 2023, I will be 30 years old.
Yeah.
No. When I was maybe 19, you could grow with each other, all of that. But now you come with nothing but raw dick is crazy.
Yeah.
You could keep that dick. Because I done had all different types of dick.
Yeah.
Great dick, small dick, big dick, large dick, great. But what else do you have to offer, nigga? What else is there? Are you going to make me want to thrive in my femininity? Like, are you going to fucking massage my feet if I ask you? Are you going to compliment my hair? Are you going to, like, I don't know, like, things.
Oh, yeah.
You know, is that like,
Yeah.
are you going to court me? I want to be courted.
Yeah.
And a man, this is going to be my last thing I'm going to say.
Say whatever you got to say.
A man who even makes a comment like that regarding money, that is the first sign he is not the right man, because he is not a man at all.
Yeah.
My mom told me, you're not ready for a wife until you can provide. You are not ready to bring a wife around until you can provide. That's one of the first things that come with being a man, baby. It just come with it, baby. Don't take it personal.
Nope.
It ain't even personal. It's just you're not ready. Maybe there's somebody that you could be cute with and flirt with, have dates, but you need to have some money. Because it's not about the money. It's what the money says about you. It's like, oh, he knows how to have a consistent job. He knows how to take care of himself. He's consistent. Yeah. That's what the money says about you, not the money. You looking at it wrong.
Yeah. I had my ex, he wasn't making like a shit ton of money. Like, I was probably making more than him, but he had more money than me because he was investing it. He was saving it. He was so good with his money. That's what I'm talking about. Like, he was ready for a relationship, financially, but mentally, no. Because, these niggas, these football playing niggas too, they be having CTE and shit. They be having, listen, report those concussions, okay? Report them and heal from them. Sit the fuck down. You're concussed. Sit down and heal.
Got a couple they don't know about.
Yo, motherfuckers be, I got hit, I can't feel my neck, but I'm okay. Bro, now I'm in a chokehold. This doesn't make it.
Now I'm in a chokehold.
I need you to heal your CTE.
Oh man,
no funny shit.
So witty and so like. I just slipped that one in there, like, you concussed,
like
that can't move, and now I'm in a chokehold. Yo, it's just genius. You're an icon living, I swear.
I appreciate you, bro.
Is that what you think it was though? No funny shit, like.
I think that A, he's an alcoholic. I think that B, he was in combat, so PTSD is a real thing. And I think C, he had no respect for himself, therefore he wasn't gonna have respect for me.
Facts.
So these are questions that I'm gonna ask, not like, hey, do you have respect for yourself? But no, like, there are ways to like go into that, like, what do you do what's your self-care routine?
Yep.
How many days, the days that you go to work, right? What do you do after work? Or what's another question? I have like a whole list of questions that I would ask a guy. What's your relationship with your parents? Those are all, if someone's not family oriented, already you ain't for me. Because my mom's side of the family, we are tight like white on fucking rice. Like, so tight that like my mom's side of the family, their spouses were tight with. Like, my aunt's sister, like my uncle's wife, right? Her sister we're tight with. And her husband, he's like a big time ESPN commentator, we're all close with. We've all hung out. We all go to dinner, all of that shit. Like, that's how tightly knit we are. But I will say it's very well, no, I'm not going to bring that up. Yeah. I will say, you know what? Let me say this the right way, politically correct. So we all know that there's a difference between education, being educated and being intelligent, right? Intellect doesn't always equate to education, right? But I will say there's a certain level of intellect that a person that's educated and has kind of seen certain things and, traveled and all of that has. It's different, right? pretty much my mom's whole side of the family is educated and all of that. Higher education, whatever.
Yeah.
Their mindset is just totally different.
Yeah.
Like when I told that side of the family about being molested, they were like, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to call you every day. Okay, we're going to put you in therapy. Like they were very active because they just have a different level of education. But when you come to my dad's side of the family, they're Southern. They don't have much education. And when you think about Southern Black, some people are only a couple of generations removed from slavery, right? So they don't believe in mental health. They don't believe in going to the doctor because why? Tuskegee.
Yeah.
Right? So you think about people, doing these, experiments on Black people and all of that. So that's the disconnect. People being born in the North and being raised in a more modern and industrial way and have a certain level of education, it will be different.
Yeah. It's like your family goes from the movie Higher Learning to the song Country Grammar.
Absolutely.
It just goes
absolutely
like parallels.
It's the both sides of my family are like night and night and
intelligence too. We spoke about
and emotional oh man,
they can afford, but honestly, I don't want to bring it to finances, but like sometimes when you have more, you're able to be more emotionally aware.
100%.
Right.
You allow yourself to be.
It's a correlation.
Right. Yeah, it's a correlation.
Right.
100%.
I mean, Maya Angelou always said, when you know better, you do better. Yes. And that's a crazy ass thing to say because it sounds like so easy. Mm-hmm. But like, because I know better, I am doing better for myself. Actively, I'm living that. Mm-hmm. Right? I know that I don't want to end my life. It's not worth it. Right? There's a higher purpose for me.
Yep.
This happening, I need to speak about it. I need to talk about it and let young girls know or young women know that you can get through this. This sucks. Don't get me wrong. It's fucked up. It's so sad.
Yeah.
But I can survive. I survived the attack, so I can like move. I don't want to take my life.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. There's a higher purpose.
Yes.
My voice is going to be heard. My face is going to be seen. Little Black and brown girls need to know that it's okay to be you and be comfortable in your own skin. I'm going to be on TV telling these jokes, slinging these jokes, empowering young Black women to still step into their greatest possibility and their greatest power. I want to empower through this tragic ass event, through the tragedies that I've gone through my life. I am going to be okay.
Yes,
and so are you.
Yes, you are. So with that being said, this is episode 1 of Unhinged by Ali on our platform. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Make sure you check in on your friends. Make sure you give from a place where you can afford to give from. And just provide alternatives for each other. Pray for each other. Find healthy ways to cope. And give people the heads up. Let's create more community, and remember it takes a village to raise a child or to raise an adult, whoever it may be, but share that little piece of information because you never know whose life it could save. And to my own sister who shares her location with me that I never cared for, I got to pay attention.
Yeah.
I definitely do. So any last words?
So whenever this episode is done, chopped, screwed, all on point, we're going to post this, and then we're going to go back to the jokey jokes about Hinge profiles and things like that. You guys, please send me your dating profiles. It doesn't have to just be Hinge. It could be Tinder. It could be whatever. Or even if somebody slides in your DMs and says something wild, silly, or funny, screenshot it, send it to me, DM it to me. I'll make a,
Where can they find you?
At Ali Leffridge on Instagram. That's ALLYLEFTRIDGE, Left and Ridge put together.
Yes.
And Unhinged by Ali on TikTok. So I'll be uploading videos and stuff like that to that. And yeah.
Yeah, and if you search Unhinged by Ali on YouTube, you're going to be able to find this episode on Anchor, on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, and on Spotify. So peace and love, world. Take care, and see you next time.